afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another Webby edition of Webby Sports Roundup. As you know, Terry, my number 2, has designed a system to do an Andy Warhol, okay? Everybody has 15 minutes of fame, and that's what he has done this last week. We've had two Tottenham fans. We've also had a Gooner, my number 3, quality. That was yesterday, and we got another one coming for you right this minute. We're going to do 2 a week, Saturday and a Sunday, bit of fun. Andy Warhol, 15 questions and 15 answers. 1 or 2 maybe a little bit long, but listen. End of the day, it's enjoyable. He's got a cracking guy today called Alan, massive Liverpool football fan. Watch it till the end, but there are some great answers. There really, really is. Now, there's 1 or 2 little mess-ups. I think the phone fell off a couple of times, but it's all trial by error. We're trying to get the right place, the right time and everything else. So just stay tuned in, stay to the end. It's great fun, and he's doing a phenomenal job. Next week, there will be 2 more, 1 on Saturday and 1 on Sunday. Andy Warhol, 15 minutes of fame. It could be you on Webby Sports Roundup here in sunny Tenerife, or is it cloudy? Speak to you soon.
So I'm with Alan today, so I'm not going to ask your name.
Afternoon.
How you going, Al?
Yeah, good.
Happy days?
Yeah.
Just watched the mighty Reds, haven't we?
Yeah, scraped to a 3-1 win.
So
wasn't the best of games, but
for the record, I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
Obviously, your name's Adam.
That's correct.
And you live in Tenerife.
Yeah.
And who do you support?
I am, and always have been, a Liverpool supporter.
Good man, top man. Right. Andy Warhol once said, everyone gets 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you 15 questions. It should take 15 minutes.
Right.
And we'll stick you on YouTube, and you get 15 minutes of fame. So obviously, if you are watching, you're on Webby Sports Roundup in sunny Tenerife. If you like what you watch today, obviously click on the old subscribe button, get on it. We do it a few times a week. It's a good laugh. Proper football fans, and yeah, let's see how we get on. Right, here we go. What's your favourite current Liverpool player?
My favourite current Liverpool player, I would say, is Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah? Any particular reason why, or?
Probably because he's a local lad, and I remember seeing him at a young age, and I thought, this lad's quality, and it's nice to be proven right about somebody. You know, he reminded me in the early days of Steven Gerrard in the early days. Slightly different players, but there's quality on the ball. And I remember the Champions League game against Manchester City years ago when we won 3-0, and he was still very young at that age. He came in, and Leroy Sané that season, I think, was voted Player of the Year in the UK, and he played a fullback, and there was no question about his defensive ability on that night. He marked Sané out of the game. He never got a kick, but he's also got that creative thing going forward as well.
Right, okay, matey. What's your all-time favourite Liverpool player?
I've got to say me childhood hero, which would be Kenny Dalglish.
King Kenny, yeah?
King Kenny, because I grew up, you know, as a kid you have a hero, so he would be, I mean, it's a difficult choice because so many of them, you know, King Kenny, and I you know, right behind them, I don't know, Stevie G and John Barnes right behind, but King Kenny,
Johnny Barnes, yeah,
I'd have to say King Kenny.
Right, okay. What do you think the best signing for Liverpool's been?
Ooh.
Best ever signing?
Best ever signing, I would probably say, again, it's Kenny or John Barnes. I mean, Kenny probably.
What's Douglas, 500 odd grand, and Barnes, what, 900 odd grand?
Yeah. I mean, back in, obviously, it was reasonably big money in the day, but I mean, obviously compared to these days, it's not. But you know, when we lost Kevin Keegan, I mean, I was only what were we, about 8 or 9 when we lost Kevin Keegan. 78
we got signed Douglas, wasn't it?
77. He scored the European Cup winning goal in 78. Yeah. So Kenny probably. I mean, if you're talking about bargains, then you could talk about the likes of Sammy Hoopier and stuff like that, you know, or the free transfers. James Milner, Souness for those years, but you know, for Kenny or John Barnes. I think John Barnes actually maybe could pip it, because at the time, I remember we signed Peter Beardsley for 2 and a bit million. John Barnes was only 900,000, and Aldo was about $1 million. John Aldridge.
Yeah, I think Beardsley was our first £1 million player.
1.9 was he?
1.8 or 1.9, he was around that, weren't he? Yeah.
And John Barnes was 900,000. You compare that. I mean, they're both great players, fantastic players, but yeah, I suppose value for money, John Barnes.
Right, other end of the scale here, mate. Club's most disappointing signing. There's been a few of them over the years, hasn't there?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a well, a one that always sticks out for me. I feel a bit sorry for the lad, but Stuart Downing. I think
He done all right. I mean, he was all right at West Ham. He was great for Middlesbrough. He was great at Villa. But he's just one of them that
on his debut,
never kicked on, did he?
His debut, he hit the bar against. I think it was against Aston Villa, first game of the season, and he hit a screamer. And you wonder if it had flown in, would his career have panned out different? But he just seemed to be one of these players that once he lost the confidence, and I think he was a confidence player, and he was a decent player, he was a good player, he was a good pro, and he was good at other clubs. But I don't think he could handle playing at a big club, so he was a bit of a disappointment.
Stuart Downing, not like a Torben picnic or something like that.
Well, I mean, but you don't expect much of those players. Stuart Downing already had he was an established international.
Andy Carroll. 35 million quid.
Well, for the money, Andy Carroll. Yeah, for the money. But
so we'll put you down for him then, yeah, Stuart Downing. What's the best Liverpool game you've ever been to?
Do you know, I'm going to pick one from obscurity for when I was a young lad. I mean, obviously there's finals and things. I mean, I remember the '86 Cup final would be up there, the FA Cup final against Everton when we did the double for the first time, because I was at Wembley that day. So. As an experience, but I remember a game back in the early 80s against Nottingham Forest at Anfield, and I think we were 2-0 down, and there was only, in time when unemployment was
rising.
rising.
I think you said a 5-0 against Forest.
No, well, I was at that game as well, but that was a fantastic game. But I just remember that I was already a Liverpool fan, but I remember maybe I got hooked on the whole support thing. There was only 24,000 in the ground that night. It was a time when you could get tickets easy, but unemployment was rife. People, didn't have the money to go. 2-0 down. I think we got it back to 2-2 at half time. Ended up winning. Did Forest get another? I think we ended up winning it 4-3. And
bit of a bogey team back in the day for us, weren't they?
Yeah, we won it 4-3, and even I think Alan Hansen scored, and then Sooner scored, I think, to win the game. And I remember the atmosphere that night. It was only 24,000 people, but it was incredible. It was like one of those, they say that the cop used to suck the ball in. That's what it was like, and it was a league game early on in the season. So, from sort of being in the ground and experiencing the atmosphere. I mean, I've experienced a lot of atmospheres since then that may have been better, but my perspective as a young kid in the ground then, that sort of really got me hooked.
Surprised with that answer, considering all the finals have been in and one thing.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, big final, obviously that 86 Cup final, I do remember doing that, the double, and for a lot of that season Everton had been a better team, and basically we'd nicked the double off them. In the first half hour of the cup final, they were the better team as well.
Yeah. What's the best away ground you've been to, including Europe? If there's one in Europe that stands out for you.
Right, I thought this question might come up because I had a little think about it before.
And obviously bear in mind that me and Alan have done an awful lot of European aways in the last 5 to 8 years, So
I would have to say, I mean, both the Madrid grounds are fantastic, the new Wanda, and obviously we won the final there, but I wasn't in the ground for that one. But I've got to say the Santiago Bernabeu, and I've been there several times. I went to watch England there in the World Cup in 1982, so I remember it from then being something special. And I also remember it going to watch Liverpool there for a different reason, because it was when we were under Brendan Rodgers and we lost 1-0.
Oh, when Gerrard was on the bench.
Yeah, he left Gerrard on the bench.
Yeah.
It wasn't, we lost 1. It wasn't the greatest game, but it was a freezing cold night. I'd gone thinking it'd be reasonably warm. All I had was a denim jacket, a t-shirt, it's freezing. I had to buy like a snooze with a hood on to keep warm. But then they put heat.
We won't talk about where Al got his snooze and what shop was next door, by the way. That's another story.
But in the roof of the stand in the Bernabeu, when it gets cold, they put these big heaters on it, so the heaters would come on and give you a blast. And I thought that was cool. I'd never seen that in any other ground.
So I'm going to stick them on, but not in the 89th minute. So But,
and then at half time they were playing a load of Dire Straits. And
Money for nothing.
Everyone was singing along to it. So it was a good atmosphere. It was a good. The result wasn't great. It's the thing about the European trip and the ground itself. So been there on different occasions, and even since then it's had an upgrade. We were last there when they were
last season, weren't they?
Yeah, they were still
still a bit of a building
still
site,
doing it up. So it's even going to be better. I wouldn't count the Camp Nou in that, the Barcelona's ground. It's a historic stadium, but that's getting done up now as well. But the top tier up there, you get stuck up there. You're miles
where
away.
they getting the money from for that, eh? You know what I mean?
So I mean, all the great ground, Bayern Munich, the Alliance Arena, fantastic ground as well.
But put you down for the Bernabeu, yeah?
But Bernabeu,
okay.
my first answer.
Right, this is one that divides a lot of people. What's the club you dislike the most? Now, a lot of Eds I speak to, it's Everton. But then obviously you've got the United thing, and now we've got City in the equation as well. But
yeah. I have a sort of grudging respect for Manchester United and Alex Ferguson and the teams that he built in that era. I mean, when I was a kid, no doubt I would have said Manchester United when I was a young lad. And Everton, yeah, maybe in the 80s. But I have a lot of good friends and family that are Everton fans, and you know, on occasion when Everton have won stuff, I have been happy for them. I probably would say Manchester City. So and nothing to do with the football, because they play great football, but to do with it, you know, all what's going on. Got a cat crawling between my legs. The only pussy I've seen for a while.
We should be on Red True for this, by the way. Right, here we go. Do you have a second sort of team you follow, or a favourite second team, or is it just Liverpool and that's it?
Yeah, it's just Liverpool. I mean, my hometown, South, but to be honest, I don't follow them. If you asked me what the result was today, I wouldn't know. They're in sort of the second, you know, so below the conference.
It's just the mighty Reds and that's it, right?
Yeah, mighty Reds.
Okay. Fans you dislike the most?
You know what? Recent years, Leicester and Wolves, because some of the knobby chanting that they do sometimes. You know, and
I didn't think Leicester or Wolves would come up, in all honesty, but. Oh, here we go. Cut. We just had a technical issue, but we're going to carry on, lads. We're going to carry on. There we go.
Hopefully we're still in there.
Hopefully we're still in sync. It's very windy here today, by the way, in Tenerife. So I'm going to just double check we're still rolling. Hold on a sec.
The camera fell off the tripod.
Yeah, it looks alright. Let's just get it straight a bit more. Here we go. Right, so you can see it's all live, all proper this.
Yeah, do you know what? To answer that question, I don't have a set of fans that I always hate. Again, if you'd asked me when I was a kid, I probably would have said Manchester United. It's probably the latest set of fans that have annoyed me. So I would, last season or recent seasons, Wolves and Leicester for various reasons. Some of the chants and stupid things they come out and say. More recently, Tottenham earlier on in the season because of the way they celebrated.
Oh
that,
well, you know, you always bring your kids on when you win a game of football, didn't you? But there you go.
And then Arsenal last week, but so
yeah,
I'll say Arsenal because they were the latest set of
right.
fans. Well, not the players.
Si, it's your mob, mate. It's your mob. Right. What player would you like to sign if we could sign anyone? I'm saying we because obviously I'm a Liverpool fan.
Well, currently, probably Kylian Mbappe.
Okay.
Would be the one, I would say.
Right, okay, good chance we could get him, but with Klopp leaving, I don't know, but there you go. What manager, now we're going to be in the market for one of these soon, would you like to have if we could have anyone?
Yeah.
So when I ask people to support the dog and duck,
yeah.
Obviously Guardiola comes up, Klopp comes up, because we've got Klopp, well, for the next 5 months anyway.
I wouldn't mind Guardiola because he's a passionate manager, but obviously it's a decision the club's going to have to make pretty soon. But for me, yeah, I would say Guardiola. I've also got a kind of respect for Diego Simeone as well because he's a needly little.
Yeah, but we're turning into one of the horrible teams that no one loves.
Yeah.
Everyone hate us, won't they?
Yeah. He's a bit sort of Mourinho-ish in that way.
So I put you down for Guardiola.
Yeah, Guardiola, I would say.
Okay. Right, this is one of the questions I like asking because for me personally, it divides the purist of football.
I'd be quite happy if we get Xabi Alonso next season.
Well, it depends because we're filming this now. It's just about 5:25 on Saturday the 10th of February, and in about 20 minutes or so, Leverkusen are playing Bayern Munich. And will the curse of Harry Kane come up again, where he's obviously never won anything in his life apart from a golden ball and a few balls where he scored against the Faroe Islands and Lithuania. So we shall see after this game today. In their prime, Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi all day.
Webby, this is what separates people who know their football from people who don't. So Lionel Messi.
Yeah. No,
right, I won't ask you why.
I respect Ronaldo, even though he played for United, and you know he could be a snidey so and so, but Messi all day.
Right, wonderful. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this question soon because he's not really getting picked on no more. But would you like Harry Maguire in our team?
Wouldn't mind him in the reserves.
What, the under 18s or someone to cover the oranges or?
No, I wouldn't like him in our team. No, I think we've got far better players, far better centre backs.
Right.
Even Kwanzaa, the young lad, I would say is better than. But I like Harry Maguire as a player. But
you don't think like we should swap him maybe for like a sort of set of socket spanners or something? You know what I mean? If they're going cheap or no?
If we had an injury crisis like we had in the past, then yeah, I'd take him. But
you won't get Phil Thompson out of retirement in his late 60s or no?
Oh, I'd get Tom O'Hare.
There you go. Right. Do you rate Gareth Southgate as an England manager?
No.
Right, obviously, you follow England as well. You've been around the block. You've done the Euros. You've been to World Cups.
Yeah,
Do you think we're going to win anything with this manager? Truthfully,
no.
Personally, with the team we've got at our disposal now and the last few years.
No, I don't. Unless they get lucky. But then again, I think they've had luck in previous tournaments in the way the draw's fallen, and it's opened up for them, and they've not took advantage.
But we always qualify because I always mention a dog and duck.
Yeah,
right? And then we come up against maybe Germany or France or Portugal, and it all goes out the window, doesn't it?
But what I'm saying, in those recent finals, the draw, the way the draw's open.
Oh, we've got another technical error. There we go. It's very windy here today in Tenerife.
The way the draw's opened up, England had opportunities to win the tournament, and I think maybe whether he'll learn from that, I don't know, and just be if he gets in that situation again, to be a bit more bold, a bit more aggressive, and go for it. I think that final against Italy in the Euros, but 1-0 up, could have been 2 or 3-0 up, and then decided to sit back. I think Italy changed the tactics, and maybe he didn't react
against a poor Italian team, weren't it?
Yeah,
let's face it. It's not like a team of Paolo Rossi and people like that. It was a Mickey Mouse.
You 1-0 up
very
at
average
home.
Italian team.
1-0 up at home. I mean, then after that, Italy didn't even qualify for the World Cup.
They qualified for the last 2 World Cups, so there you go.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a big opportunity missed.
I always chuck that one in there with Gareth Southgate because obviously got the Euros coming up and whatever. Now I brought this one up last few weeks because obviously it's in the news at the moment and whatever. Last of all, what's your take on this financial fair play? Is it worth the paper it's written or the print it's printed on, or I mean, you've seen everything get done recently. Forest's going to get done. They're talking about Chelsea getting done. Obviously, we know the obvious ones who have not been done, and it's been going on since 2009. But what's your take on it?
I think the problem is that they haven't been hard on it early enough and been on top of it early enough, because these charges relating to Manchester City go back to 2013, 2014. So it should have been jumped.
Well, it goes back to 2009. So the original first lot of them.
So it goes back even earlier. It should have been jumped on it and at the start. Now, I think I mean, I'm no lawyer, but I think in law, if things get past a certain time, I think that's what happened with City with the European charges, wasn't it? Because
with Cassett's time frame, it can only go back so many years.
So that's why they appealed on that and got away with it. So it just needs to be tightened up. But I think City will probably get away with it, A, because of the time that it's taken, and B, because of the lawyers that they can afford. Or, you know, they might get a slap on the wrist for not cooperating. But the thing is, you've got nothing to hide. Why don't you cooperate? Everton held their hands up and said, "Oh yeah, guilty."
Well, they've been honest about it, and
they got slapped.
And they've had a kick in the plums, minus 10 points, and they might get another reduction as well. Forest are next, obviously Chelsea now,
Yeah.
which everyone, personally speaking, who knows their football, thinking how the hell are Chelsea signing all these players? Spent £1 billion in the last, 18 months.
So,
And, you know,
I think that's now. I think the fair play is coming is being enforced. As you can see, what's happened to Everton and may happen to them again, and Forest again. City is a different case, and it's going back further. But the thing is, because it's taken so long, the thing if something doesn't happen, then it doesn't say a lot for the fair play. But then again, you know.
I know, but
legally they're proven innocent.
But it's got to be sorted out sooner rather than later, and it can't drag on for years and years and years. Because recently I watched the old Facebook thing on Sky with that Mark Zuckerberg, and his philosophy was: listen, we know we're doing wrong, but to get to that next level, we'll take the consequences later. As long as we get to that next level. And for me, it seems like City have gone down that route. That we know we're going to get done, but we'll deal with it later. So I don't know.
The other thing we see is the taxman thing, because if they've overinflated the sponsorship deals and all that kind of thing, if they haven't paid the full tax on this stuff.
Well, exactly. That's another issue in it as well. You can't default the taxman. That's one sort of aspect of not getting away with it. So
get sent down like Rangers did.
Well, this is another thing, but I don't know. Anyway, another thing, by the way, I started asking this question. Trick question, this one. You know Webby, obviously we're on Webby Sports Roundup, so if you like obviously what we're watching, forget about the technical issues with the camera blowing over due to the wind here. We've got really bad weather this weekend. If you like what you're seeing and as well, get on the old Facebook. Foggy does our Facebook, who's a Spurs fan. He'll be happy today because they just beat Brighton 2-1. Get on there, have a look at that as well. Did you know Webby had pubs in Tenerife? And do you know how many pubs he had in Tenerife?
No. But
give us a clue, come on.
But you know I don't get out a lot, so...
Well, I know that, but it's a bonus question, this one. How many pubs do you think Webby's had in Tenerife? It's less than 10.
4.
Oh, nearly. Webby, how many pubs you had? 3 pubs, son. 3 pubs you had in Tenerife. Everyone knows this, apart from you, Al. Right, listen, we're going to go. Happy days. Unfortunately, we had a few problems here with the camera because it is really windy this weekend in Tenerife. We've got really bad weather, and yeah. Anyway, if you like what you're seeing, if you like what you hear, get on it, watch it. You don't have to. I mean, watch Countdown or Catchphrase or Tipping Point.
Subscribe to Webby's Sportscast.
Exactly. Get on there. He's not always on there talking about silly stuff. You get good stuff like me and Al talking. So anyway, all the best, and I'll see you on next interview. Al,
cheers.
Top man, matey.
Cheers, thank you.
The camera woman's not here, so I've got to run round and turn you off now. Scarlett, come back. All's forgiven.
She'll be able to edit it for you.
I'm sure she will.